Sonic SatAM! This is not biased. I love the show on its own, but as a Sonic fan, I love it even more. This was a game changer in cartoons for me, because it took what was a kid-friendly game and made it into a heavily character and story-driven TV series. And sadly, it only lasted 2 seasons because of you frickin' Power Rangers. And it's a real shame that they didn't return to this, because they actually had a chance to come back to Sonic SatAM, but instead, they decided to revamp it and go with Sonic Underground. Yeah. Idiots, I know. Idiots. Especially since the series ends with a cliffhanger. I mean, what the hell? But, being a Sonic fan and keeping up with all the comic books and graphic novels, the series doesn't end there, because you could just read through the comics. Once you get to Sonic Archives Volume 13, then you can read on from there. And the adventure continues for us Sonic SatAM fans. I have barely anything bad to say about this show. It is that good. Other than things like Batman or Animaniacs or DuckTales, this is my favorite 90s cartoon ever. Let me get the bad stuff out of the way, because there's really little bad stuff. The bad stuff only happens when you get to Season 2. There is a severe depletion in scenes with Rotor, who was one of my favorite characters. And plus, they give him an entire redesign and different voice actor. It is completely pointless. And Dulcie. I love dragons. I love Smaug. I love Draco from Dragonheart. But Dulcie can go rot in a pit. And clearly they have moments where the voice actor actually talks normally and the character could be tolerable and maybe likable. But most of the time, I'm home, Ma! Get out. That's all the bad stuff I have to say about it.
How about the good stuff?
The characters. I just love these characters. They're timeless for me. And it's a big reason why I keep reading the graphic novels, because they're still there. And they've had really big emotional arcs for them throughout the comic book series. You watch the show and you just kept reading after the show ended, you're still connected with him and you still love him to this day. Of course, Sonic the Hedgehog, this character the show is based on, he embodies the hero with an attitude. He hates being cooped up for too long and all that. He's voiced by Jaleel White. Hopefully one day I would love to meet Jaleel White and get him to sign some of my Sonic the Hedgehog memorabilia. That would be really cool. And Sonic's not just there to be the radical awesome dude. He has genuine emotions and he cares about the others too. He just tends to be a little hot-headed and runs into things without thinking, and often regrets things he's done in the past. Like the episode where he lost Ari, and especially when he finally finds his Uncle Chuck again. He briefly revives him with the power ring, but Uncle Chuck recessed back into his robotic slave form and Sonic lost him again. He had him right there for a few seconds and all of a sudden he just changed back and Sonic suffered that loss once more, and that was hard on him. It may just be like a oh kind of thing, but with me it's really sad to see my favorite character go through that kind of turmoil. Sonic has been through a lot over the years of the comics, and I love Princess Sally, and as many of the girls that Sonic's been with over the course of the years of the comics, Sonic and Sally is still my favorite couple, solely because of the history they have together and they have a genuine connection with one another. Sally is a strong leader like Princess of Mobius and in search of her father to bring back order to the chaos that Robotnik has thrown across the land. Sally and Sonic always have these really cute and really funny moments where they're just snarkily snapping back at one another about him being late and him saying, "No, I'm not." One of my favorite scenes is where Sonic is sitting by a tree and she mistakenly thinks that he's talking to her. And he's saying all these lovey-dovey things and she's getting all blushed and stuff. And then finally he says, "There's nothing like a good chili dog." And it just killed me to see her reaction to that. Because it's so him to do something like that. But deep down, he does feel that way about her. And I need to stop there because I'll go for hours and hours and hours about how much I love these characters. Antoine's hilarious. I named my hamster after Rotor. I love the fact that Antoine and Bunny Rabbit get married eventually in the comics. I love Tails in this. Dr. Robotnik is absolutely intimidating and Jim Cummings' voice as Robotnik is absolutely awesome. Snively is one of the perfect little sidekicks, and he actually eventually develops this hidden hatred for his uncle, and eventually takes onto a road of betraying him in both the comics and the show. Wonderful characters and a wonderful story. And all the episodes are eventually intertwined. Sometimes they can be episodic, but for the most part you can watch them one after the other and still carry on something from the previous episode. Probably my favorite episodes are the two-parter time-traveling episodes where Sonic and Sally try to go back in time to stop Robotnik from overthrowing King Acorn and everything, and they run into their younger selves. Love the humor, love the story, love the lush and smooth animation, love the characters, love the villains, love the fact that even though the show ended, we can continue to see their story progress through the comics, thankfully. Sonic SatAM, in my book, is a perfect 10 out of 10. Slightly biased, but you know what? It holds a special place in my heart, and I can always go back and watch it all, every single episode through again, and laugh, cry, and just completely enjoy myself and immerse myself in it. This has been a Way Fast review, and we'll see you next time on Team Epic Force. And I think it's hilarious that people expect a movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, Jason Statham, Antonio Banderas, Dolph Lundgren, Jet Li, Harrison Ford, all these 80s action people, to be a Citizen Kane of a movie, when clearly it's something hilariously satirical and adrenaline pumping awesome at the same time. I'm of course talking about The Expendables. Manly awesomeness coming to you next week.